Hi, I'm Bob Ryan. This is the buzz of September the 12th named Shining Moments. Thanks for joining us. Week 2 of football and the September week in Major League Baseball had many football and baseball teams with shining moments. Now let's jump to that first topic. When you hear that noise, you'll know we're going to a new topic. Let's start with the Mizzou win over Kansas. It was a shining moment for Mizzou, without question. A good non-conference matchup after being in the Big Eight for years and years together for several good reasons. It was a long-time rival, very similar to Mizzou in rebuilding football program as Kansas. Both teams have struggled in recent years. Mizzou has just 2 winning seasons in the last 5 years. Coach Strink's first 3 seasons were all losing seasons. Kansas has just 1 winning season since 2008. Mizzou's second game provided real evaluations of players as the ball was moved up and down the field. Both offense and defense had plenty of opportunities to be evaluated. Mizzou won at 42-31 over Kansas in a wild-scoring game. Maybe not a great defensive game, but it was a very entertaining game for the fans. It provided to players and coaching staff a much better evaluation than the embarrassing blowout a week earlier against Central Arkansas. The game itself was very competitive non-league conference, which is just exactly what coaches want in that preseason conference. MU went up 7-0. Kansas responded with 21 straight points. One of those TDs was a pick up from MU quarterback Bo Pribula. A fumble for a TD. It was a pick up and off he went. Mizzou eventually wore them down with their overall better talent in the line and in the backfield. Mizzou had a very balanced attack. Bo Pribula threw for 334 yards with a red-hot percentage of 77%. He was 30 of 39 with 3 touchdown passes. MU's offense shining moments often came from Kevin Coleman and Jamal Roberts. Running back Jamal Roberts ran for 143 yards, 1 touchdown. Kevin Coleman led the MU receivers with 10 receptions for 126 yards and 1 touchdown. By the way, Coleman and Roberts were high school teammates in St. Louis at St. Mary's High School. They led the Dragons to back-to-back state titles with many shining moments in those 2 years. St. Mary's won the Class 3 title in 2021. Then they were moved up a class. Then they won the Class 4A title in 2022. After that title, with no increase in students, St. Mary's was moved up to Class 5. And those 2 very, very special players elevated a good team to a great team. St. Mary's was moved up to Class 5, despite an enrollment far beneath that title years. It seems to me that the Missouri State High School Activity Association, usually called MSHA, seems to look the other way when it comes to placing St. Mary's and other private winning schools in the appropriate class level after their championship, and all their players, including their stars, have graduated. In this case, they graduated several years ago. Staying local but switching sports. The shining game in the early college soccer season schedule is the annual college soccer rivalry match between St. Louis U and SIU Edwardsville. It's called the Browns Boot Game, which was played Sunday. Billikens won it 2-1. Evan Howard scored his 3rd goal of the 2025 season for the game winner with only 3 minutes and 29 seconds left in regulation play. St. Louis U regained the Bronze Boot prize awarded to the winning team each year. Bronze Boot Game has been a big sports item in the Lou for years and had a very well-attended crowd. These 2 schools face each other for the first time ever in the NCAA first-round match in 1969. St. Louis U Billikens won that game with a final score of 4-0. There were many shining moments in the early years of men's soccer for both these programs. Many longtime soccer fans say the Billikens dominated the men's soccer area better than any other school has ever dominated any NCAA sport. They won 10 NCAA D1 championships between 1959 and 1973. A program that has been shining for years in Alou, but largely unnoticed, is the University of Missouri St. Louis women's volleyball program. It's been led by St. Louis and Ryan Young. Of course, everybody asks, what high school did he go to? Was CBC. He's done it for 15 years. Young has compiled a very impressive resume at UMSL. He holds a lifetime mark of 283 wins and 141 losses. He's been the GLVC Coach of the Year 3 times and led the Titans to 13 of his 14 years into the GLVC tournament. He's developed 9 All-Americans at UMSL. If you're a volleyball fan, go ahead and check their schedule and go out and watch them at UMSL. You'll really, really enjoy the action. The biggest college football upset of the week was Mississippi State as they upended Florida in a Southeastern Conference game. There were many shining moments for Mississippi State. It had to really mean a lot for Mississippi State since they were voted as the last place team in the 2025 media preseason football poll. What a shocker that was. By the way, Mizzou was voted 12th in that same SEC preseason poll. With those SEC voters, Mizzou only had 2 players, offensive lineman Caden Green and wide receiver Kevin Coleman, receive any recognition on the first, second, or third teams over the season in the 2025 preseason media days all SEC team voting. Let's hope the Tigers showed those writers that they were wrong, badly wrong, in their preseason evaluations. I know it's fall, but Cardinals still grab me. I think the firing of Mike Schilt, which seemed to be an emotional moment that was an argument, basically, between Mozeliak and Schilt in a postseason meeting, led to his dismissal. To give you an idea of how good that Schilt record is compared to great Tony La Russa, who had 54% wins. Red Shaney had 52%. Schilt had 56%. Schilt has still many shining moments for him here in San Diego. In 2024, he posted a 93-69 record and took them to the National League Division Series against the Dodgers, where they lost. Currently, San Diego's 80-67, seemingly headed to the playoffs again. This isn't by chance. Schilt has his own style and principles. And take a look at what other baseball experts, not me, baseball experts, say about Schiltz. 1, his emphasis is on fundamentals and details. Schilt introduced a philosophy of winning on the margins, focusing on excelling at the small details of the game, such as situational defense, base running, and executing plays in crucial moments. This approach was implemented through a revamped spring training routine with shorter, focused drills and daily ball talk sessions to discuss game situations and solutions. The Padres improved from 82-80 in 2023 to 93-69 last year, 2024, by winning more and more close games. His second point, creating a winning culture and accountability. Schilt focused on building a culture of communication, consistency, and accountability within the clubhouse. He established a Players' Leadership Council to help shape the team's culture and foster a sense of ownership among the players. Players like Manny Machado have noted Schilt's straightforward communication and caring attitude, which contributes to a positive environment. And his third skill is player development and relationships. Schilt's background in player development has been a big asset for him. He emphasized building relationships with players throughout the organization, from the minors to the majors, and ensures clear communication about their expectations and their routines. This focus aims to create a seamless transition for players moving up through the system and helps veterans mentor younger players. I realize Ali Marmel doesn't have many quality players or shining moments as the manager currently. He also doesn't have much managerial experience at a high professional level. He managed 4 years at rookie or single A league levels. That's the lowest level. but nothing else as a manager before he came to St. Louis as manager. But he and the Cardinals knew that going in. Seemingly like the roster, the Cards ownership looked for the least expensive managerial hire at the time. From another point of view, another old-time expression holds true: you get what you pay for. Since the current Cardinals ownership doesn't want to spend on players or a proven successful manager, how can we expect more wins in the wins column? We can't. I do think Ali has improved as a manager during his time. Ali isn't the reason the Cards are not a top-flight team. It's the talent that he's given by management. But I'm just seeing his work during the game. I have absolutely no gauge for the pregame prep he has for his team, his interpersonal relationships with the players, the star players, the average players, the subs. Each one has different kinds of relationships, or his control of the team on the matters off the field. All that plays a role in the confidence that the team has in him, which impacts the personality of the team. Please don't get fooled by the new Major League Baseball playoff system. Sure, the 3 division winners belong there, but now having 3 wild card teams per league means that 40% of the teams will now reach the playoff level. Not necessarily the second place team in each division, the next 3 best records. Basically, play 162 games to drop a bit more than half the teams from the playoffs. 40% are in the playoffs. Then 1 or 3 or 5 games to move on or be eliminated. The weaker playoff teams have a better chance of winning in a short series, in my opinion. All they need is 2 or 3 good pitchers, put the ball in play, and you just never know what's going to happen. For a long time, there were many shining moments for the Cardinal fans. I think the great, and they are great, Cardinal fans have spoken loudly by their absence from the ballpark. From 2000 to 2023, the Cardinals sold no less than 3 million tickets at 2023, 23 years, never less than 3 million tickets, and finished in the top group of teams in attendance almost every year. Currently, sitting in the bottom third in baseball in attendance this year has led to an unprecedented shift in fan support under the ownership of Chairman Bill DeWitt Jr. It's really stunning to see the thousands and thousands of empty seats as you watch on TV. Some seats very close to the field are empty, even the season ticket holders, who can't hardly give them away. Another concern by some is the safety of downtown St. Louis. But it seems strange to me. At the same time, St. Louis City has sellout crowds in the stadium across from the train station, maybe 3 or 4 blocks away. But there's no concern there about attending the game. Well, I think it's a political question, and that's out of my ballpark. But without many shining moments like wins, the Cardinals ownership now looks to TV viewership sponsorships. However, it seemed to have dropped also. Through mid-July 2025, the team averaged 53,000 households per game on FanDuel Sports Network, the team's new local broadcaster. This was up from 50,000 households last year. However, these numbers are still far below the 66,000 households the team averaged in 2023. Well, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment on any part of the buzz. I'd love to hear you.